So much for Elon Musk, the canny operator, the modern-day Thomas Edison, the guy who was always one step ahead of a posse of angry short sellers. The posse finally got their man. And they're going full Oxbow incident here, except in the Oxbow incident, the guy was clearly innocent. When you read the complaint about what Musk did, basically fabricating this bid to take Tesla private out of whole cloth, precisely in order to smash the people betting against his stock, the thing that stands out is his hubris. He tried to destroy the shorts and in the process ended up destroying himself. You might think destroy is too strong a word, but the complaint traces out a seemingly chimerical $420 offer that seems to have been designed purely to force the short sellers to either cover their positions, meaning buy back the stock to cash out, or be obliterated. And to make matters worse, Musk had a chance to settle with the SEC that did the complaint. They offered him a deal that was pretty much slap on the wrist. Pay a nominal fine and step down as chairman of the board for a couple of years, but no admission of guilt, no resigning as CEO. Instead, Musk blew up the settlement at the last minute and decided to fight this in court. This man is his own worst enemy. No wonder Tesla's stock plunged 14% today. The company now has a host of problems. First, ask yourself, would you want to own the stock without Musk at the helm? Say what you will about this seemingly unhinged recent behavior. He's very good at selling people on his vision for the company. With Musk gone, I think a sizable number of investors will start viewing Tesla as merely a money-losing automaker. Second, given the incredibly brazen, totally made-up story about firm financing for a $420 bid, the real concern here is not the SEC. It's the Justice Department potentially charging him with securities fraud. When you read the brief by the government, it does everything but outright say he manipulated the stock for his own benefit. Sure sounds like securities fraud to me, at the very least. I think the Justice Department will feel compelled to investigate now that Musk challenged the SEC so brazenly. How could he be so reckless as to fight the SEC when they seem to have him dead to rights, with information that it looks like he may have provided himself? Of course, Musk insists on his own innocence, but I think it's too risky to own the stock while we wait to see if the shoe drops. Why? Well, that brings us to the third problem. Tesla has some debt refinancings coming up real soon. There's a convertible bond he needs to do something about by November. Plus, there's always a chance that he misses forecasts. He's done that before and needs to raise money again. All of that just got a lot more difficult. Bankers will raise money for just about anybody, as long as they're not going to prison. But if Justice is pursuing Musk right now on a parallel path, or the SEC recommends that they should, which is very possible, even as we have no idea whether either of these things will happen, then I expect most bankers will simply say no. They don't want to add a risk factor like the CEO might end up in jail to the prospectus. That's the crux of the problem, people. Tesla's constantly in need of money because it loses so much cash per car. If they were anywhere near profitable, we could have some theoretical discussion about a creator stepping aside from the CEO job as a new person steps in, like when John Scully took over from Steve Jobs way back in 1983. Although it's not like that worked out all that great for Apple shareholders. But there's nothing theoretical about a company with a balance sheet from hell trying to raise capital with a CEO who could potentially be charged for securities fraud at any minute. So why isn't the stock down even more? Because Tesla is a cult stock with no middle ground. The shorts believe it should go to 0. The longs believe it's going to 1,000 and felt robbed of the upside when Musk suggested capping it at $420, a cannabis-related price he apparently picked in order to impress his girlfriend. I think the longs will wait, and if nothing happens, they'll presume all is well. Why not? It's worked every other previous pullback, and they're true believers. The shorts will be more emboldened. They know Musk passed up a deal that would have been better for Tesla and its shareholders, something that could have made him less distracted, perhaps even more visionary CEO, with an independent chairman and 2 independent board members. Frankly, if he'd taken that SEC deal, I don't know if he knew this, but it would have gotten the stock higher. The shorts see this now as a slow-motion train wreck, but when they go to press their bets, they may find that there's simply not enough stock to borrow. Remember, that's how you short something. Borrow the stock, sell it high, then hopefully buy it back lower. So I think Tesla stock can keep going down, but I can't see it trading more in line with an ordinary car company because the bulls will craft some fairy tale narrative in their heads where Musk can stay on and even do a better job as he both fights the SEC and makes the best cars. That's what it means to be a cult stock, and Musk followers are cult-like in their devotion. Bottom line, until Elon Musk is removed from the premises, the Tesla bulls will love the stock. If he somehow keeps his job, they'll be back as buyers. They simply cannot resist the car or the man, even as I think his best defense at this point might be to invoke an insanity plea. My advice for you, please don't drink the Kool-Aid. Let's take some calls. Let's go to Eric in Texas. Eric.